Hello, my dear students. Good morning. Welcome back to our revision class. I hope all of you are fine and safe by the grace of God. Did you do your revision? Which are our revision lessons? 4 lessons. Which are they? They are Lesson 3, Introduction to Civics. The next, Lesson 4, Responsibilities of Good Citizen. 7th lesson, Major Landforms. And 9th lesson, The States of India. Did you learn it well? Okay, once more we can revise our third lesson. Okay, now all of you take your third lesson, Introduction to Civics. First paragraph about civics. What is meant by civics? What is meant by civics? Civics is the study of various aspects of citizenship, its rights and duties. It is one of the branch of the science that is called civics. Then which person or citizens have the civic sense? Those members are called citizens. Okay. Citizen means, civic sense means the duty of an individual towards to his society. The civic sense means the duty of an individual towards his society. Then next, what are the main problems arise due to the lack of civic sense? Separatism, vandalism, intolerance, then racism, road rage, etc. What is meant by vandalism? Deliberately destroying public property, that is called vandalism. The next one about sovereign. What's the definition of the sovereign? Or a country free to govern itself, completely independent country, that is called a sovereign country. Then duties of good citizen. In our textbook explains about 4 points, which are they are voting in elections, then paying taxes, awareness about the different government programs, and last one, being a good neighbor. So, voting in elections. Voting is an important duty of the citizen. Then it is one of the major functions of a democratic country. The next one, in a democratic country, all citizens who have completed the age of 18 years, they have the right to vote. The next one, paying taxes. What's the definition of the tax? Taxes are the financial contributions which we make for living in a civilized society. The next one, awareness. A good citizen should be always vigilant about the different kinds of government programs. Last one, being a good neighbor. Then, what are the main qualities of a good neighbor? Be helpful and friendly. Do not disturb other neighbors. Keep your neighborhood clean, and who need our attention or who need our care or help to them we help. Then, educating citizen also a part of dash. What sense? Civics. Educating citizen also a part of the civics. The next, keeping roads, streets and public places clean come under which one? Civic sense. Then we should cast our vote for whom? Whom? Eligible and qualified candidates. Being helpful and friendly are the qualities of a good neighbor. Okay. Then filling the blanks, you look at them. During the ancient period, Confucius of China defined civics. Who were the two philosophers defined the civics? First, one man, Confucius of China, and another one is Plato of Greece. Okay. Civic sense means duty of an individual towards society. Define the term civic sense. How can we answer to that one? Civic sense means duty of an individual towards his society. Then what are the main problems arise due to the lack of civic sense? Separatism, vandalism, road rage, etc. are the examples of lack of civic sense. Dash of a country must be loyal to their country, the citizens. All persons in India who have completed the age of 18 years have been given the right to vote. Okay? Then learn those 5 questions. Define civics. What do you understand by the term civic sense? Give an example. Who are citizens? Then describe the voting rights of a citizen. And what are the qualities made to be a good neighbor? You learn it well. And true or false also. Already I given the answer, that one you learn it. Okay. Now take your 4th lesson. The title of our 4th lesson, Responsibilities of a Good Citizen. Responsibility means our duties. Listen, in that lesson we are learning about different kinds of property, especially the public property and private property. And what are the characteristic features of the public property? and what are the main characteristic features of the public property. Then what is meant by the private property? The property owned by a private person or an individual or a group of person, that is called private property. Okay, then so what are the main features of the private property? The owner has the sole right over it, then its protection will be due by the owner. My house, my car, then my pen, that means which one belongs to me, that one all of them. Okay, that one all of them are the examples of the private property. So which are the other things you have, that one all of them are the examples of private property, your own private property. Okay, the next one about public property. How can we define the public property? The property owned by the public in general, which are the property used by the common people, all the people of a place using one of the property, that is called the public property. That is called, what are the things used by the people of a particular locality, that one is called public property. Example, the panchayat ground, the public well, post office, nationalized bank, national highway, etc. Okay. The next one, send the caring for monuments. Which are the examples of the monuments? Qutub Minar, Red Fort, Taj Mahal, the Palakkad Fort, then Mysore Palace, etc. Okay. Which are the public agencies protecting the government properties? There are three agencies. They are the PWD or Public Works Department, then the government workshops, the next one, the archaeological department. Okay. Examples of the other private public property, that one is the libraries. There are different types of libraries we can see. The libraries we can see many kinds of books. In big libraries we can see all kinds of the book. But most of the libraries we can see many kinds of books. The next one about museum. How can we define the museum? Museums have a collection of various artifacts of ancient times. Okay, what are the things we got from the ancient times? That one is keeping one of the place. That place is called the museums. Which are the different agencies protect the public properties? Which are they? They are the Public Works Department, the government workshops, and last one, the archaeological department. Okay, so last one, as a citizen we should participate in election. Who gave the definition of the democracy? Abraham Lincoln, one of the president of America, gave the simple definition of democracy. What is meant by democracy? Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And India is an example of dash country. India following which form of government? Democratic form of government. What are the main features of a democratic form of government? In a democratic form of government, people have the sole right to choose their representative to govern them. Who have the right to vote in India? Who have completed the age of 18 years have the right to vote in India. Okay. Then caste meaning, CAST caste meaning, to vote for someone. Then one of the fundamental duties is to preserve and protect dash. To protect and preserve our public property. Then PWD stands for, textbook page number 25. To get that, PWD stands for Public Works Department. Which among the following department is responsible for the maintenance of all monuments, then memorials and buildings? Which among the following department is responsible for the maintenance of the old monuments, memorials and buildings? Which one? Archaeological department. What's the minimum age of a person to cast his vote? 18 years. Okay. In India, elections generally held or take place in dash years. Within how many years? 5 years. Then match the following. National property is the common property all of us. Then historical monument provide information about our past. Government create public services. Then books should be handled with care. Okay. Then filling the blanks, look at there. Roads, railways, post offices are the example of public properties. Then money for the repair and replacement of the damaged things and services is charged from people by the way of dash, by the way of taxes. India is a dash country, democratic country. Then turn over your page. Under the Ancient Monument and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958, people who damage historical monuments may be dash and dash, punished and prosecuted. Museums have a collection of dash artifacts. Right, true or false? Look at that. Spoiling the school wall is not a good habit. Spoiling the school walls is not a good habit. Is it true or false? It is true. Libraries keep all kinds of books. That is wrong. Not all kinds of books, many kinds of books. Again, that is false. Then third one, we can't stick posters on the walls of historical monuments. Is it true or false? False. Okay. Then people damage public property for the good of the nation. People damage public property for the good of the nation. For the good of the nation. Is it true or false? False. Okay. What's the mistake there? Instead of damage, you should write there protect. Okay. The next, trains and buses enable us to travel long distance at a cost. Is it true or false? True. Yeah. Then from that lesson, except the fourth question, all question answers you learn it. Okay. Then take your seventh lesson. Open your textbook, page number 41. Open your textbook, page number 41. Are you ready? Look at that. What's the title of our 7th chapter? Major landforms. There are many kinds of landforms we can see. Mainly we can see the mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, etc. These are the major landforms. 4 major landforms explains in your textbook. First one about mountains. How can we define the mountain? A mountain is a high landmass with sharply sloping surfaces. A mountain is a high landmass with sharply sloping surfaces. There are 2 kinds of mountains, old mountains and young mountains. Example of the old mountains, the Vindhya Chatapura and Aravalli mountain. An example of the young mountain, the Himalayan mountain, the Andes mountain, the Rocky mountain, etc. In every mountain, we can see highest peak also. It is the highest peak in the world. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. Okay. Second one about plateau. Definition of the plateau. A plateau is a broad and more or less level stretch upland and rises above the neighboring lowland. Okay. It's a top side just like a table. Both sides are in steep side. Okay. That kind of the area is called the plateaus. Which is what is the another name of the plateau? Plateau is another name, tableland. Tableland because its shape is just like a table. That's why it is also called a tableland. Okay. Then which is the highest plateau in the world? The Tibetan plateau. Which one? Tibetan plateau. In which country the Tibetan plateau? In which country it exists? It exists in Tibet. That's why it is known as Tibetan plateau. Okay. Then it has also one of the nickname. That one is considered as the roof of the world. The Tibetan plateau is considered as the roof of the world. Okay. Why the life is so hard in mountainous and the plateau region? Why does the people not like to live in the mountains? The land is not smooth and it lay also to construct the road or railway or canals, that is very difficult. So people don't like to live in the mountainous region or the hilly region. So that's why in that area we can't see much population. Okay. The next one about the plains. Plains, how can we define the term plain? Plains are relatively flat and low-lying vast land. That one is called a plain. Then the plains are formed by the action of the rivers. Okay. Example of the one of the plateau, Indo-Gangetic plateau. The Gangetic plateau formed by which river? the Ganga river. The Kaveri plateau formed by which river? Kaveri river. We can see one of that one, Hoyaho Plain, that one formed by the Hoyaho river in China. Nile Valley Plain in Egypt. Another one plain, Nile Valley Plain, that one is in Egypt, is formed by one of the river. Its name, the Nile River. Do you know which is the longest river in the world? That one is the Nile River. Okay. Last one about the desert. Desert. How can we define the desert? A desert is a barren area of land while little rainfall occurs, or very little rainfall available in which region? On a desert, only available very little rainfall. That's why the people and animals don't like to live on the desert. But in the desert, some area, the water is coming upward of the earth. The water is coming on the top of the earth just like a sprinkle. Okay, that is called an oasis. Which is the largest desert in India? The Great Indian Desert or Thar Desert. Which is the important desert in India? The Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert. Okay. Yeah. Now look at the page number 43. The Alps mountains are situated in in Europe. The plateau is also called tableland, which is the highest plateau in the world, the Tibetan Plateau. Relatively flat and low-lying vast expanse of the land is called a plain. Which of the following are the most fertile plain? Which of the following is the most fertile? Plain, desert, plateau. Which one? Plain. Okay. The next, filling the blanks. Look at that. Match the following you should learn. The next one about filling the blanks. Look at that. Polar region has dash deserts. Polar region. Which desert? Cold deserts. Large variation of temperature between day and night is felt into the dash areas. A large variation of temperature or heat affect in which region? The desert region. Gobi Desert is in which continent? It is in Asia. Rocky mountain ranges are located in dash North America. The Great Northern Plain of India is formed by the deposits brought by the river Ganga and her tributaries. Okay, Ganga answer Ganga. Write T for true and F for false statement. Look at that. In summers, the days are very hot in deserts. Is it true or false? It is true. Then people can grow crops for jowar, bajra around oasis. It is also true. Tibetan Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. True. Nile Valley is situated in Brazil. Nile Valley Plain is situated in Brazil. In which country? Is it in Brazil or in Egypt? It is in Egypt, so it is false. So instead of Brazil, you should write there Egypt. That is the correct statement. Mountain differs in shapes and height. All mountains do all mountains have the equal height? No. So it is true. Okay. From that lesson I gave you some question answers. That one also you learn it. Okay. Now take the 9th lesson. All of you take your 9th lesson. Title of our 9th lesson, The States of India. Okay. Then when did India become an independent nation? 15th August 1947. India became an independent nation on 15th August 1947. Okay. Then which is the largest union territory? Ladakh is the largest union territory. Which is the smallest union territory? Lakshadweep is the smallest union territory. What is meant by a union territory? An area directly under the control of the central government. That one is called a union territory. How many union territories are there in the present India? 9 union territories. Okay. Then about the states and capital, some of them I gave you to learn it. That one, which are they? Once more look at that. Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad, Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, Assam, Dispur, Bihar, Patna, Goa, Panaji, Gujarat, Gandhinagar, then Karnataka, Bengaluru, Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, Maharashtra, Mumbai, Punjab, Chandigarh, Sikkim, Gangtok, Tamil Nadu, Chennai, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, West Bengal, Kolkata. Only these states and its capitals you learn it. you can avoid languages spoken, no need to learn it. Okay, the next one about union territories, you can avoid it. Don't learn its name. Okay, the largest and the smallest one, you learn it. Okay. Then the government at the central level is called dash. Listen all of you. The government at the central is called dash. What is its answer? The central government. The government at the state is called dash. What is the answer? State government. Okay. Then India's central government locates where? At Delhi. Okay. Then how many states are in the present India? 28 states. Which is the largest state in India? Which is the largest state in India? Rajasthan is the largest state. Which one is the smallest one? Goa is the smallest one. That one is belongs to the that one depending upon the area. Or when we are taken into consideration of the area, which one is the largest state? That one is Rajasthan. Which one is the smallest one? The Goa. Instead of the area, suppose we are taking the base of the population or how many people are living in that area, on the basis of that one, if you are considering which is the largest state, that one is Uttar Pradesh. Okay, many people are living in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and which state has least number of the population? That one is Sikkim. Okay, these are the main points we learned from this lesson. Okay, I hope all of you understood the lesson well. Then do you have any doubts about this lesson? Just look at it. Now you look at the exercise of that lesson, page number 55. Take the right answer. First one, the smallest state in India. Answer, Goa. Then the largest union territory, Ladakh. Then population of India as per the census of 2011. Answer B, more than 120 crore. Okay. Then India became an independent on which day? 15th August 1947. Okay. Then filling the blanks. Dash state has the largest population? Uttar Pradesh. Dash is the capital of India? New Delhi. Dash are directly under the control of the central government? Union territories. Dash look after the welfare and safety of the people? The government. Dash is the smallest union territory? Lakshadweep. Okay. Right, true or false? Look at that. The central government looks after the welfare of the whole country. All means all part of the country or entire country. Which one? Is it true or false? True. India has 26 states. How many states are there in present India? 28 or 26? Answer 28. So, but in your textbook given that statement as 26. So, it is false statement. The next, New Delhi is the capital of India. True. Dash is the smallest state. Sikkim is the smallest state. Is it true or false? Wrong. Answer, go. Then from that lesson, some of the questions is also given to you. You learn it well. I hope all of you understood. Now, already we did the revision many more times in our live session. Now, once more I am giving the revision to you today's from these recorded classes. So all of you prepare well and try to score good marks. Not good marks, full marks. Okay. Out of 40 all of you try to score. Okay. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Have a nice day.